So this is my great grandma. So what's your name?
My name is Florence Dwyer Anderson, and I was raised in Westbury, and I got married when I was 20 years of age. And I married a neighbor, William Joseph Anderson, Jr.
How old are you?
Oh, I have to think, I'm 91.
So how many siblings did you have growing up?
Too many. I was the youngest of 5.
Okay.
So is it being recorded?
Yep.
Okay.
How many kids do you have growing up?
The way he worded it, how many kids I have?
Yeah.
I have 8 children.
And can you name all of them?
Of course. Billy, Sheila, Michaela, Kevin, Karen, Nancy, Danny, and Cole.
Okay. And can you speak loud so the stuff could hear you?
Of course I can.
Okay, thank you. And then, how did you name your kids? Like, are they named after things or people?
Well, William is named after his father. He's William III.
Okay.
Sheila, I just liked the name. Michaela, well, that was a different name. Kevin, it was Irish. Karen, it rhymed with Kevin. Nancy, Danny, and Carl, they were just names that Dad and I liked.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of kids.
No comment.
So, like, what was it like growing up in a house with, are you in the way? What was it like growing up in a house with so many kids?
Well, it was hectic. Never a quiet moment.
Mm-hmm.
The boys would have arguments with the girls, and the girls would always win.
Okay. What are you most proud of?
All my children.
Okay. Anything else you're proud of?
Yes, I'm proud, and I'm very thankful that everyone was healthy. They did well. And we're all here to talk about their childhood. And they're all married now, and they all have children, and some of the grandchildren are married, and now there's great-grandchildren.
Cool. What was your first job?
Oh boy. My first job was taking care of 4 little girls. I was 15 years old, and the oldest of the 4 girls was 10, so I felt like I was the big sister. My second job was a sales girl in a store.
What was your favorite job?
Oh boy. I think when I got older and I worked privately in private homes, because I met some very nice people.
What did you do when you were in a private home?
I did, well, you would call it waitressing. I took care of the dining room and served the food. There was complete staff in the house, a butler, a cook, a kitchen maid, upstairs maids. It was what we call the big houses.
I heard you worked for the CIA.
Oh, no, no, no. I worked for Mr. Casey, who was employed by the CIA.
What was that like?
Well, he had already passed away, so I worked for his daughter and his wife.
Okay. What'd you do?
Domestic work. And I was a companion to Mrs. Casey if her daughter went out.
Who was Mrs. Casey? Mr. Casey.
He was head of the CIA during President Reagan's administration.
Mm.
And I I don't really know much about what he did, but he was with the government in Washington.
Okay. How is growing up now different than how
It was,
growing up when you were a kid?
well, we had a lot of empty lots where we could play baseball. My brothers played golf in the empty lots, where today that's all developed.
Hmm.
A big difference.
How about like schooling? How is that different?
Well, I went to public school where my children went to a private school, and I felt they turned out a little smarter than their mother.
Okay. How about like did you take a school bus to school? Did you have
Oh
to walk?
no, there wasn't such a thing as a school bus. We walked, rain, shine, snow, hail, sleet. We walked.
How far?
I'd say 3 miles
Every day?
every day.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So like when you'd walk like 3 miles, like was it like how early?
Well, school started at 9, so we would leave the house about 20 after 8 to walk to school.
Cool. Let's see. If you could give advice to a younger you, what would it be?
Stay in school and try to do college if you can.
Did you go to college?
No. College back then was usually just for boys, unless you wanted to be a nurse or a teacher.
Mhm. If you could give some advice to me, what would it be?
Follow your dream. I think that's the best advice anybody could get. Just follow your dream.
Thanks. Where'd you meet your husband, and where was your first date?
Well, that's quite a story. We were neighbors, and I wouldn't go out with him because he was older than me, and I told him he was too old for me. He was 10 years older than me. So I wouldn't go out with him. And I'd say maybe 6 months went by, and he wanted to know, I walked a lot, so I would, and if he saw me walking home, he would give me a ride because he lived on the next block. We were neighbors. And he wanted to know if I wanted to go to Radio City Music Hall to see the Christmas show. And here I'm 19 and I've never even been to New York City. So guess what I said?
Sure.
Sure. So then I started dating him. Of course, I knew him all my life, being that we were neighbors. So then that October we got married. The following year, 9 months, 10 months later. I didn't have everybody's blessing though, but I didn't care. I was too young to get married.
How old are you?
19, 20. No, I was 20. I dated him when I was 19.
Cool. What are some of the games that you played when you were a kid?
Oh, it's funny, I was just reading them in that book. Well, we played a lot of hopscotch, hide and seek, tag, baseball. What else? Well, card games in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
We used to play gin rummy. I think that's about all we played as far as card, or pinochle we used to play. They're card games.
Mm-hmm. Do you like what's it called? Like, would you rather be outside like hiking or inside like playing?
Well, I've never hiked any distance. I shouldn't say
Or
that.
just being outside?
Yeah, I like the outdoors. When I was younger, I used to walk from Grandma Felix's house back to Westbury. That was up in Hicksville. Did that a couple times when I wanted to get away from Rita and Adelaide.
That's impressive. What's your favorite food / restaurant? Well, and
Oh,
restaurant.
my restaurant. My favorite food is pork chops, as far as meat goes. Restaurants, well, I'm not really a restaurant person. When you have 8 kids, you don't go out to eat. I think Friendly's. Of course, I like the Miller Ridge, but I used to work there. And I worked for the family that did own the Miller Ridge.
Cool. What style foods do you like?
Well, I like Italian style food. And I like corned beef and cabbage. So I'm open for variety.
Me too. So, what are some of like the most interesting places you've been?
Well, I've traveled a lot. I've been to the Orient. I've been to Europe a number of times. I've been to Rome. Met some of the Red Camp relatives over in Germany when we went over there. Where else have I been? Switzerland, England, Ireland.
Did you used to ski when you were young?
No, I never got on skis. I did get on ice skates when I was a young girl, but not skis. Skiing was not for me because I didn't want to break a hip.
When I was in kindergarten, I remember President Obama was inaugurated. Do you remember what president you had inaugurated when you were in kindergarten?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't remember, but we did some research and we found out it was Hoover.
Cool.
It's great how you can research things today.
How would you find out information when you were a kid?
Radio. Only radio. There was no TV. When did television come in? You don't remember. I would say maybe about 1955.
Do you remember the moon landing?
Well, I had a brother that worked for Grumman's, and he worked on the
Apollo?
Apollo that went to the moon. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes, it was very interesting to listen to him talk about what Grumman's was doing. Yeah.
That's so cool. Do you remember any national news from when you were a child? Like major events?
Well, did we speak about Lindbergh? I can remember when I was young, Lindbergh, who was a pilot who flew across the Atlantic, his baby was kidnapped. Other national news as a child. When Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, my 2 sisters and I, we were cleaning my mother's kitchen and had the radio on, and we heard that news.
Did you believe it at first, or?
Well, when
shocked?
it comes over the radio, you feel it's true. Because the radio back then was the only way we got the world news. Anyway,
So who are your parents and?
my mother is Anna Freilich Dwyer, and my father was John Joseph Dwyer, and they came from, my mother lived in Elmont as a child, and my father lived in Floral Park as a child, and I was raised in Westbury as a child.
Cool. Can you tell us anything about them?
Well, they were farmers. They had a farm in what was called Central Park, but it's not the city. It's a little area out near Bethpage and Farmingdale. And then they moved to Jericho, and from Jericho they moved to Westbury. But I was born in Jericho, and I was a month old when my mother moved to Westbury. And I lived in Westbury until I got married. Married a neighbor, and we bought the house here in Mineola when we were married a year.
Okay.
Sheila was born in this house. My father was a year old.
You were alive during the, what's it called? World War II, right? And
Yes.
Korea and Vietnam.
Yes.
What was it like growing up during the war?
Well, everything was rationed. You couldn't, let's see, was sugar rationed, and so was gas rationed. So you just had to be careful with things that were rationed, because the government would only allow a family to have so many tickets to buy your gas and your sugar. What else? Something else was rationed. I can't remember what it was, but we had what was called things were rationed, and you would get things from the government. If you had 5 in the family or 10 in the family, you'd get it accordingly, the size of your family.
So like, I've seen pictures of like people who do like metal drives. Have you ever taken part in
Yes.
one of them?
Oh, when I was a little girl, we'd have a man come around every neighborhood with a horse and wagon, and he would buy rags and metal from you. He'd weigh it, and he'd give you so much a pound. Yeah.
Was that for like, was he private or like from the government?
No, he was private. He was a private junkyard. We called them junk dealers, but they were people that recycled rags and metal. Yeah.
What was the scariest moment in your life?
I don't know if I should tell him that one. No, my scariest moment. I think when I would hear something on television about a train wreck.
Because you lived in
Open.
the trains?
Well, no.
by the train?
My husband was an engineer on the railroad, so I would be worried until I heard from him to make sure he wasn't involved in the train wreck.
I have one more story from when you were a kid.
Well, I was a fighter. I gave a little boy a bloody nose when I was about 7. And then I took care of his sister when I was about 21, 22, and she wanted to know if I remembered doing that. I went, yeah, I guess I do. I was a fresh kid. Anyway. Of course, they ended up being my neighbor. They ended up being my husband's cousins, so it was all in the family. Anyway.
Anything else?
Anything else that happened to me as a kid? Well, not really. Grew up as the youngest of 5. My mother was a single parent. My dad died when I was 3, so I really don't know him. But I know of him and stories about him. And other than that, my mother was one of 14 and my father was one of 8.
That's
So I
what
have
my
lots of
uncles-
cousins. I think the Frericks, the rec camp said 57 cousins. Wow. And my one cousin called me the other day, the one your father worked with. And we were counting how many cousins are left. There's not too many left. Well,
Like
we
Miss
have what the family calls longevity. My grandmother was 98, my mother was 97, and I don't remember what year my great-grandmother died. I don't even know her, but I've heard about her, that she was a girl from Manhattan, which is considered the city. But I didn't know the woman. My older sister is 97, the other sister is 95, and I'm 91.
Wow.
Did I ever tell you the story about being away with Rob and Maureen? Oh, that's a good story. My great-grandchildren were playing at a playground up in Vermont. And this young boy, about 8 years old, heard them talking about me, and they referred to me as great-grandma. So the child comes over to me and wants to know, why are they calling you great-grandma? And I said, because their mother is my granddaughter, so it's the next generation. So you're considered a great-grandmother. Then he said to me, they told me you're 89.
Was that long ago, huh?
It was last year, yeah. What am I, 91? Yeah, I think I was 89. Was it last summer or the summer before? It must have been 90 then. It was last summer I was
Yeah.
with them up there. Yeah, they were godparents for
Yeah.
Aaron's girl. Aaron's baby.
So, kids my age, they have this thing that they do. It's called bottle flipping. Can I see if you can do it? Okay, onto that chair.
You want me to have it stand?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you.
Well, this was an educating moment for me. We didn't do things like this when we were children, interviewing neighbors, but one of my children interviewed a neighbor, I don't remember anymore which one, in school.
Kids in school, they have this thing called bottle flipping.
Bottle flipping?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you do, you take a water bottle, you flip it, and then the goal is to try and get it
To stand.
to stand like that.
Wow.
Oh, this is
is
the
yours.
thing. Yeah.
What envelope is that? I couldn't.
Yeah. Nice job.
So, well, this was